So it's been a little while since we did a video, I guess probably over a week now at this point. If you've been following along on the channel, of course you know that our grandma, our dad's mama, got diagnosed with cancer, and everything happened really fast, and it's been a week ago today when this video goes out. It'll go out tomorrow. But since we're filming it the day before, it's been about a week since she passed, and it feels like it's been 2 minutes. It feels like it's been 2 months. It's kind of crazy, and we kind of felt like that we're in a time warp. So we wanted to just give an update, since it has been a little bit since we've been on here, and as far as we know, we'll be back to making videos pretty regularly as normal. But we're glad that she's not suffering anymore, and it's hard. We miss her, and it's kind of hard because it happened so fast. I feel like my brain almost doesn't want to catch up to everything that's happened, but we know she's in a better place, and she's not going to have to suffer anymore, because it's really hard to watch someone you love, you know, go downhill, and there's nothing really that you can do and whatnot. So I think that she was, you know, pretty peaceful at the end, and we're so thankful for all the hospice people who helped. They were just truly amazing. I mean, God gives everyone special gifts, and that's a very special gift, no doubt. So, you know, they had her on good medicine, I mean, to make her as comfortable as possible, and she just kind of eased on out. So
she did, yeah. She did. I mean, a lot of times when people die, I mean, I wouldn't say all the time, people die suddenly, tragically, unexpected, but I'll say when people die like this, when people end up with some sort of terminal diagnosis, even though you're sad that they're gone, I mean, it's really, the sadness is for the people who are left. It's not for the person who's passed. Yeah, I wouldn't bring her back here at all. I definitely wouldn't bring her back in that kind of pain and suffering, you know, and the truth is, her time of suffering was short compared to a lot of people that get that diagnosis. And I mean, I'm definitely sad that she's gone, but it is a relief, you know, a relief knowing she's not sick, a relief not having that that's just a type of anxiety and stress I've never experienced, you know, being somebody's caregiver and hurting and scared and wondering, are they hurting? What do I need to do for them? What can I do for them? Because usually when people are in that type of condition, they eventually get to the place where they can't communicate, or they can't talk, or they can't let you know, and it is very stressful, wondering if you're doing the right thing and doing all you know to do, you know, and stressful in the time being. Nobody likes to see anybody suffer, and you sure don't like to think somebody else's life's in your hands, but that's just what ends up happening. And I would have never been able to get through it had it not been for the hospice people. They were so sweet and so kind.
They did a good job.
They really did, and that's I feel like that was my peace of mind. They give us good instruction, and I just did what they told me to do, and I felt like that was the right thing. Of course, that's what they're good at. They know they're not going to lead you astray or tell you something that's not right. You know, they did a really good job helping us. So it is kind of like Corey said, though, everything just feels like a time warp, like what day is it, what time is it, and just feel so out of it. Like, I'm like, what? And it's all over, and now I just have to get back to work. You know, the funeral was yesterday. Well, by the time you see this, Monday. And I'm like, am I supposed to just go back to work? Like, I can't do that.
I know. I think everybody just has to, at their own pace. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, mentally, I just feel kind of, I don't know, zoned out. Like, it's relief that she's not suffering anymore, but it's also like, what? She's gone, and it all happened too fast. It doesn't feel like you can just be like, well, alright, let's just, you know, go back into what we were doing before. It's you know, it's grief, I guess. And that will take time to get through and to process, and you know, I think we need to give ourselves time and be patient and be easy, and that's the hardest part about it, is just feeling I'm like such a busy person, and I'm like, I need to be working, and I need to be doing this, and this is really the first day
back to work, and I have literally done nothing all day.
That's
I have
okay.
just cried and like done nothing at all because I don't know. I'm like, I can't work right now.
And that's okay. I mean, I haven't done all that much. It's hard. I mean, and it's a good thing that it happened fast in some ways because you didn't have to suffer long, but then it don't give your brain or your emotions much time to catch up.
No.
So,
it doesn't. I mean, it's just another reason I've said that before. It just goes to show you better make sure that everything in your life is done with purposeful intent, because you just don't know.
That's true.
I would have never, ever thought, I would have never said this is what would happen. I'm like, she was so healthy, and she really prioritized her health, and she went to the gym every day, and we've said all that before here, and I'm like, I just never would have thought. I'd have been like, what? And like we said, it happened so fast, I'm still just like, it seems like since it happened, I've been shaking my head like that. Mom's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, trying to come to reality.
Trying to figure out what's going on, yeah.
Trying to come to the surface. I feel like I'm like a million miles below the ocean, and I'm like, what is going on? Trying to get, and I've been sleeping. It's not like I don't go to sleep, but I've been having nightmares. So it just takes time for the nightmares to go away. And
I haven't been sleeping that great either. But I think we will.
Yeah.
But we're thankful too that she was able to pass it. I mean, she passed at home, and we're so thankful that we didn't have to, she could be with us at home and didn't have to be in a nursing home.
All kinds of weird sounds. It's the wind. It's
I guess
very
it
windy.
is. I mean, of course, we don't judge nobody for having to go into putting their family in a nursing home, nothing like that. We're just grateful we had the ability to keep her at home and whatnot. And the funeral home did a good job. We're thankful to them. They just made it easy, and thankful to our church and everyone who cooked, and all of you guys for sending cards and sending emails, which I'm behind on, and sending comments. I mean, we just appreciate each and every one through this whole process. I mean, it happened fast, and yes, it was hard on her, but considering that she had lung cancer, she never had respiratory symptoms, she never had a cough, she never felt like she couldn't breathe. And, it went pretty fast, and especially, once she was able to get the morphine, she really didn't have much pain. I mean, if you're going to have a terminal illness, I think that's as good as it could have went, so to speak, and we attribute that to all the prayers, so.
We do.
We definitely want to thank each and every one of you. It means a lot to us, and she had a really nice service, and if you can, say that, it feels nice to say. It was a strange funeral, or feels strange to say, excuse me, y'all. It was a nice service, but it was, and she's buried by our grandpa on our mom's side, her dad, our grandpa.
Yeah, I think she would have liked that. In fact, before she passed away, before she become pretty much like unconscious and unresponsive to anybody talking to her, Mama told her that we're gonna have you, we're gonna have you buried out here instead of in Haywood County where you come from. We're gonna bury you out here next to Pap and Granny, and she said that'd be really nice. I'd really like that. So I think she's happy to be with him because that was her family. We were her family,
yeah.
and
it was, and as tough as this whole thing's been, we still feel like, we could see God's presence in the whole thing. I mean, every time a nurse bent over the bed to help her, I was like, that's God. He blessed these women with this talent, and men as well. She just had female nurses, but blessed them with this talent to help, and blessed us with, the ability, flexibility, and schedule to help. And, before she got down to where she couldn't get up, there was several times where I had to help her to get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because there's a real art. I mean, anyone who's been a nurse knows that, or seen one at work, to getting people up, and without hurting them is the thing. And but anyways, anytime I had an issue with that, I was like, God, you just have to help me figure this out, and he did. He was with us every step of the way, and he's with us now. And we know that it talks to us in Thessalonians. When I spoke at the funeral yesterday, and that's part of what I spoke about, where Paul talks to us and tells us that we don't have to be ignorant about those who are asleep in Jesus, or grieve like we have no hope at all, because we do have hope. We do believe we'll see her again, so it's not goodbye, it's just see you in a little bit. And I
See,
mean,
on
that's
the flip side is
yeah,
what I say.
and that's what allows you to get through it. I mean, if you didn't have that, I don't know how you would survive it. But
I don't know. I mean, that's the blessed assurance that these people that I love so much that go before me because they're elderly, because it's a tragic accident, for whatever reason, there's that hope that I'll see them again and that we'll be reunited, and that it wasn't just, you know, I love my family so much and then they're just gone forever, because that would just be, it would feel so pointless. Not even in death, when you miss somebody and you're hurting because they're gone, but just everything would feel so pointless if I didn't think that there was some sort of reason or plan for all of this. So
yeah,
and she believed that, and she told us, and she reminded us, you know, reminded us of that, and told us
Yeah.
that she wasn't scared to die, that she had understood, that she had made peace with it. And I really believe that. I don't think she just said that.
no, I don't think she was a very strong woman, and I don't think she was afraid.
I don't either. And when she passed, the look on her face was peace. It was peaceful, and in fact, that's the most, even though she was already gone, that was the most peace I had seen in her face since the whole thing started.
Yeah, I would agree with that. She did look peaceful, which is good.
It is good.
So that's kind of what we got going on here. We're just trying to get back into the kind of normal rhythm, but again, we're so thankful for each and every one of y'all, and we're just glad she's not suffering anymore. It hurts, and I know it'll take a while to get through, but I'm just glad she ain't gotta hurt no more, you know?
I know, and I feel like I've cried so much. I'm like, I don't
me
have a
too.
lot of tears left. I've just
I
spent
know.
the last weeks just crying, and
I know.
sometimes when you get to the point past crying and you just feel defeated and you feel too tired and too weary. That's like a really good word for it. I'm like, I'm just too weary to cry. Katie's too tired.
I know.
Katie's too exhausted. I don't,
I know.
you know, everybody experiences things differently, and sometimes you think people will cry and they don't, and sometimes you don't expect them to, and they do cry, and
That's true.
I know nobody's thinking about it, but I'm like, hey y'all, if I'm not crying, it's just because I'm barely awake.
Well, I'm not, you know, in every video we've made about it, I've been sobbing, and it's not that I'm not sad now, but like you said, in some ways I feel like I'm cried out, but in other ways, I mean, there's a relief knowing she's not hurting anymore, and having the hope that we'll see her again. I mean, it's tough, and I miss her, and I already have seen things or found things or whatever that remind me of her, but
Well, and it's a relief for the caregivers because of that just high tension, anxiety of just like, oh my gosh, that's the most scary, stressful thing I've ever done. And it just seems like it was such a short amount of time compared to, I don't know how people do this for years. I mean, it'll really, when you face situations like this, it'll show you what you're made of. And I'm like, well, I think I'm probably pretty weak, because I don't think, I'm like, it was
You're
just a few weeks, a month, and I'm like, I just couldn't have done no more, you know, just feeling that.
you're not weak. I mean,
Stress.
I think if we had to,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
we
sure.
could have. I mean, and we did rise to the occasion, and I'm glad that we were able to. But yeah, I mean, there are people who have to do this for years, and you know, I don't
God
want,
bless them's all I
right,
know.
and I don't want anyone to suffer. I mean, of
No.
course. So that's, like I said, pretty much what we've been doing and going through, and trying to like go back to, you know, it's funny though, you say go back to normal, and I don't mean this in a dramatic way, but I mean when something like this happens and it affects you, I'm not trying to say I'll never be normal again, or I'll never get better or anything, but it's not, I mean, it happened, you know what I'm saying? You can't undo it. It's not like you just go back to normal as in normal before it all happened. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just saying it's something that from now on you carry with you, and we do feel like we've learned a lot. And I'm kind of too tired to talk about it in this video, just to be honest with you. And I feel like my brain needs more time to download it. But, I mean, just talking about, you know, spiritual lessons and being closer to God and whatnot. But we'll share with you, too, other stuff, if we can think of it. Other stuff we've got maybe in the works. Granny gave us some cookbooks. She sent them up here with Mom today, and they've got some really cool-looking recipes, so maybe I'll try some recipes soon.
Not looked at mine. To be 100% honest, forgot it was on the table.
It's okay. And I picked some blackberries this morning. So that was good. Got those picked.
I'm going to possibly start in on some stuff on my truck. I'm not sure. Before all this happened, a gentleman that I know that has already done some work on the truck, I talked to him and he said, if you want to work on it, he's been a mechanic his whole life, but he's pretty much about retired. And he said we could work on it, and if you want, you could help, you know, and we'll just do it, take it slow, you know, just a project, a little bit here, a little bit there, one step at a time. And I said, well, that would really be awesome. You know, it'd be one thing if you'd do it, but it'd be another thing that you'd let me be involved, which would be really nice. So I was getting kind of ready and set to do that when things really started to head downhill with Miss Cindy, so I just put that off. But I'm thinking maybe that's something I'll get back into, and I'm hoping if he's not put out by any of it that I'll be able to film some of the process. And
just have to ask.
Right, and if I don't end up doing that, I'll at least do a before and after and stick it in the video somewhere, or just a picture if anything, because it is fun to see before and after. So
Yeah.
that's something I'm hopefully my truck, and sooner than later, will have new tie rods, new, all that kind of fun stuff. Just replace it all while I'm up there. Might as
Yeah.
well. So that's something I'm doing.
I think that would be good.
I'm going to get my orders. If you're waiting on an order from me, it'll go out this week sometime. I've got a good bit of the orders wrapped up, but not all of them. And I haven't forgot about you. If you've sent me an email or anything, you're on a list. You're always on a list.
Yeah.
You're there. I haven't forgot. I'll get to you
Yeah, I've
when I
got
can.
emails I gotta answer. I'm behind, and I hope sometime soon, probably won't be this week, but maybe sometime soon, to make some soap again. That's been a little while since I've done that. Want to
Yeah.
work in the garden some, plant some of my flowers that I've bought and never got planted.
That would be nice.
And I'm gotta, at some point here soon, buy me a pressure canner. I mean, not like a regular pressure canner, but like a,
Hey,
yeah.
look up there.
What is it?
Where'd he go? It was the hawk.
Oh.
It's that one way up there. Did you see him under
I
the
do.
buzzboard?
There's a hawk and a buzzard. Thanks for showing me that.
He's little.
He was, compared to that big buzzard. I still see him up there.
Gordon bless it. I yawned a minute ago and almost broke my own jaws. Anybody ever do that?
I've been yawning a lot.
Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're
Bless it.
fine. Now I'm looking for the hawk again, but I'm gonna buy a canner. I mean, just to can green beans and all that kind of stuff with. I've just used Mom and Dad's last year, but I ended up getting, or Austin and I did, a Camp Chef, like just a gas, what we would call like a fish cooker. I mean, you can cook anything you want to on it, but we like to do that and do it outside. We have glass top stoves, and a lot of people will say, like, you can't can on glass top stoves. We don't really, but our grandma has for years. I think it's probably fine, but it's just easier to do it outside on the fish cooker. So I got one of those, which we still haven't put together yet, but I need to get a canner. So that way, I'm not growing any green beans, but I'll probably buy some from one of the local produce stands. I'd like to do that. There's all kinds of stuff I'd like to can. So maybe that's something I'll be working on in my near future.
That sounds good.
So that's kind of pretty much. And then Austin and I are going to go with his family coming up here in July. We're going to go to the beach. So that should be fun.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. So
Be nice to take a vacation.
yeah. So we got some stuff coming up on the horizon, and Olive's been doing good. I can't remember since the last time I mentioned this about cooking her food. I did start cooking her food, so she's not eating dog food anymore. And she has, she gained a little weight,
Yeah, she's
but
kinda
in a good
chubby.
way. I don't think she's like fat by no
she's not
means.
fat,
It's
no.
got me like a little bit concerned. I'm like, what if she gets obese, you know? But before, I felt like she was almost too skinny because she just wasn't really that interested in her food. So now I'm pleased that pretty much every time I put food in front of her, she's eating it, so that's good.
That is good. I think it's good for her. Made
So-
a difference.
Yeah, any more updates, you think?
I don't think so.
We're tired. You're gonna probably be able to tell this from this video, but we're pretty tired, but we're hanging in there, and again, we're just grateful to each and every one of y'all, and glad that Miss Cindy's not suffering anymore, and we're gonna hang in there. And I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. It hurts.
Hang in there and do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
You get kind of, I mean, that is the thing, even though your loved ones, your friends pass away, you kind of do just have to keep moving, you know. You kind of...
And they would want you to keep moving.
Oh yeah, life goes on. You have to keep trucking, and that's... I will do that. I'm gonna get back to that. I just gotta figure that out. I will.
Alright, well, we're gonna sign off, and we'll be back. We'll be back with another video soon.
That's right. Bye.
Bye. God bless you.